yourself taller. You're live now while you're taller.
Am I tall enough? Am I filling in for Paul's tallness? There we
You
go.
are definitely feeling it for Paul's tallness right now.
Professional level. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Warhammer Meta Chasers. This is episode 10. We've been doing this for 10 times, not 10 weeks in a row because we did take a
We're
week
doing
off.
this for 10 times. For 10 times, yeah.
Doing this for 10 times. That's how you say it properly,
Yeah.
or more proper.
It's
Anyway, I'm
professional.
joined by the wonderful new father, Dustin Henshaw. Hello, brother. Welcome.
How's it going? Thanks for having me back. It's good to
We
be
are
on.
sans the Paul Murphy. He is off watching Indiana Jones, and he got delayed in traffic on the way home. So he thought he was going to be able to be here, but unfortunately, he's not. So we are forging ahead regardless. And as you know, we will be memeing on him. He will be default picking Blood Angels to win every event this week.
Yeah, Blood Angels are really good right now, right?
Well, dude, he default won.
Yeah.
He default beat me a couple of weeks back when San Procopio won a major with him and he just defaulted. And I'm like, oh, you lucky. You just pulled the roulette wheel, just came up that week for him. I got 0 points that week. He got like 3 points that week. And I was like, for shame, Adam. Self-shame. But we have two fantastic events to show to you guys to essentially unpack, analyze for you from as high a level as we can.
This is the first time it's 10th. This is the first 10th show we've done, so...
As far as I'm concerned, this is the first week of 10th. When 10th,
Yes.
the 10th edition of the game, I know some events happened last weekend, but the full game was not out in the general public as of last weekend. Well, it was like on a Saturday last weekend. So this is the first full weekend where everyone in the world, hopefully, G-Dub, deliveries pending, can play the game, and therefore this is the first week, and from here on out, it's all 10th edition all the time. How are you feeling about it, by the way?
About 10th?
Yeah, I know you. I mean, like, finger on the pulse. How much have you been able to keep up with what's going on?
Oh no, I've been reading, I've been playing, I've been watching, so I'm very much on the pulse of the 10th edition. I'll call it meta because we're chasing it. So we have to know this. This is what we do, right? So I know it, but I don't have to like
it. That's fair. Well, I think we're about 2 balance changes away from this being a really good game. Yes. Right now, it's a bit, and as you'll see from some of the stats, some of the lists in attendance, you look at some of these lists and you're like, yeah, how am I supposed to, with my all comers, whatever, how am I supposed to hang? Anyway, shout out to people in chat: Artemis, Steve, Ben J, and Brad Tastic Craft. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are here joining us live or you're joining us in post, you should know that we do this live. And you can sit here in the chat and engage with us as we go. I've got beautiful opportunities. I've got all the indexes open for all the lists that we're going to be covering for our 2 events. Or should there be any questions in chat? What does this thing do? Why has he bought this? Why is he doing this? I'll be jotting those down and try and address them as much as I can at the end, or if not, as we go, if I can get to it quickly.
Because that's what we do here.
That's exactly right. That's one of the great perks of seeing us live. And if you're seeing us in post, hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Hopefully your weekend is going great of 40k. And if you listen to this way past the weekend, hopefully you can look back at the results and see how we did, because we are going to be giving our predictions about what will be winning, and it's going to be an absolute freaking crapshoot for the next months.
It really is.
just throwing a dart at a wall. Like
I feel like there's about 3, maybe 4 armies they're always going to be picked right now between the 3 of us.
I think there's about, if I had to say, as long as the faction numbers are right, I think there's only about 5 armies that can win a GT at the moment. As long as the numbers are right for all 5 of those factions, as I think in my head, and we'll break those down as we go, because they'll become very apparent as you see what people are taking.
Yes, they will.
But to that end, this is now, as of right now, this is going to be a 2-part podcast. So the first part comes out live for you guys who are watching it sitting there right now, or in post on the podcast form. But if you jump over to Patreon and go to Warhammer Meta Chasers, the beautiful WMCs, and jump over there, there's going to be a second half of this podcast where we do the rewind. We go back and look at the events that we covered. What won? What was their path to victory? How did they win? What did they have to play? What did they score? What's their average scores? What worked in their list? What didn't work in their list from our analytical point of view? And we'll be pontificating upon who did best out of predicting what was going to actually occur. Who gets the brownie points?
Even if they weren't here to predict it.
That's true, and it's kind of fun that we're doing this as like. Because I want this to, we have this ideal to do this month by month. Like every month, one of us is the champion of the previous month because they got the most predictions correct for the events. And we're cool. We're doing this right as like the last weekend of June. So next week we can start fresh with our July predictions. But anyway, let's jump into that first one, mate. What do you got for us?
Well, the first event we're going to be looking at is the Alpine Grand Tournament. This is one that I actually have wanted to attend for such a long time. It's
really, yeah. So lovely Isaac, one of the cornerstone members of the WTC, has his little. Yeah, his little tournament circuit. He runs the Alpine Cup, which is the team's event here, and now he runs the Alpine GT and a couple of others as well. This is the singles event. Where is it? How many players? What's going down, mate? Give us the full shebang.
It's all the way over in Austria. That's in Europe, for those of you that aren't aware of that. Salzburg, specifically. It's 106 players, 6-round event. So it is a big one. And it's, like I said, and what Adam said, is run by the WTC folks, and they run great tournaments. So I actually intend to go down to one of these. I'm excited to do that. But in the meantime, I just have to sit here and read you who is actually attending in terms of factions. So the Imperial Super faction, there's 1 Sister Battle, 7 Custodes, 2 Astra Militarum, 6 Grey Knights, and 5 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 5 Adeptus Astartes. You actually just put Adeptus Astartes. 2 Dark Angels.
I'm trying to, after going into the 7th year of them legitimately becoming Adeptus Astartes, I think it's time to let go.
It's so much harder to say. It's a tongue twister now.
I know.
2 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolf, 2 Blood Angels, and 1 Death Watch. Chaos, there's 2 Chaos Space Marines, 9 T-Suns, 1 Death Guard, 3 World Eaters, 4 Demons, and 6 Renegade Knights. Xenos, there's 6 Necrons, 3 Orcs, a single Tau, 2 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 3 Tyranids, 5 Gene Stealer Cults. Eldari, there's 1 Drukhari, and 15 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Eldari topping off with 15, T-Suns in second with 9, and Custodes in third with 7.
Man, it is a wild new world out there. I mean, I don't think there's any surprising Eldari numbers
Oh, are you
more
kidding?
More than 10%.
Boner that all of these Eldari players have right now is.
That's one way of putting it, Dustin. But no, they are so keen to play their broken trash, and it is, and fair enough. Everyone has the chance to play their broken trash when the trash is broken. But over 10% of this event is taking that broken trash. We will be breaking down one of the notable players in attendance who is bringing the Eldari. But any other surprises here? T-Suns coming back in big numbers, almost 10% representation for T-Suns, with them having some pretty crazy and powerful tricks.
Yeah, the T-Suns is not a surprise to see here. I honestly didn't expect them to be number 2 in representation. I was expecting Knights to be a little bit more represented, maybe even GSC. But T-Suns are still they're. If I had to put the top 3, my top 3 are actually like Knights, Eldar, and T-Suns, but then that's interchangeable with GSC a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. They're a good codex right now. Custodes surprised me a little bit. Like, they're good. They are definitely very good. But that surprised me.
One of the reasons I see for Custodes is that they're just the perfect entry level to an edition army, right? Because everyone so many people have a Custodes army by now. You can say the same for Knights, you can say the same for Space Marines, but I think Custodes are like the new Space Marines, where people are just like, oh, what do I want to play to learn the edition? Well, there's just 10 golden painted models. I could just slap them on the table until I figure things out. So there is that as well. Some shout outs in chat from Artemis Steve saying exactly, Dustin, how it is this, you reckon Salzburg, Austria? How far to London from Salzburg, Austria? Somebody look it up in chat. We'll have a punt. I'm going to go
how far to
1,300.
To London?
1,300 kilometers to London.
2,100.
2,100?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 1,300. It's probably a lot more than what I've said, but it is what it is. 1,300 miles. Let's go that. Actually, that's like 2,100 kilometers. Never mind.
Yeah, you can't guess the same thing as me. That's not how this works.
That's right. Matt McNeil is going, go T-Suns. Gani and Jay. Dustin sounds salty that Dev Wounds and Vipers are a hard counter to his endless battle line units.
Yep. I am very salty about that. Am I salty that an army directly counters mine? Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
It's so legitimately though. It's very possible that Eldar is the only thing keeping GSC in check, because I think GSC is incredible.
Eldar, like Eldari in general, like Craft World, Drukhari, even anything that has fast stuff that can just stop those things from coming out.
Stop the blips.
Tau has, as always, been a counter to GSC. They actually have good ways to deal with it too, if they take the right stuff.
Fair enough. How you feeling? So I just want to. I'm very happy with our faction breakdowns now. How much more compressed it is. Like, yeah, tickled my little analytical pickle to be able to take out so many factions. Just be like, nice and compressed and condensed. Like I took out Yanari and Harlequins. They got deleted at the moment, and then I took out like literally 2/3 of the Space Marine factions, which felt very good.
Yeah.
As for the Space Marine numbers, so that is in total 11 Marines? Yeah, 11 Marines in total, which would sit in second place on the podium if we did them as a single.
Right.
What do you think about those numbers?
They aren't too surprising either. I am a little surprised Blood Angels and Space Wolves are on there because I think they're still good factions, but I was surprised to see them out at all.
Yeah, I legitimately I would just take vanilla over either of those at the moment.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
I am actually at some point I'm going to go through when we get some big like 500, 600 player events. I am going to go through and see how many of the Space Marine sub factions take their sub faction choice and how many actually just still take the Gladius, because obviously I think, especially for Blood Angels and Space Wolves, Gladius is just 100%. Dark Angels as well, 100% just better.
Yep.
Deathwatch is the only one that I could say this is, with the right build, comparable to the Gladius.
Yeah, I can see that. Deathwatch I expected to see a lot more of because there was a lot of hype on Deathwatch for a while.
Deathwatch are amazing. I personally think they're the best of the Space Marines, only because they have tech into the two of the lists that are better than them.
Yeah.
So they punch up a little better than the other Space Marines because they got very good tech into Eldar, very good tech into GSC.
Yeah.
And so just getting a little closer on those metrics,
yeah,
I put them, makes them one ping higher for me.
At the same time, this is like, for a lot of these people, I'm sure it's the first 10th turn they've ever gone to. They
exactly right.
Figure out what they want to play. See what it's like.
Spot on. Turns out Wraith Knights, mate.
Turns out Wraith Knights aren't half bad. When you can make a 2d6 mortal wound gun auto mortal wound, it's not bad.
Well, dude, the thing is, like, against GSC, the Wraith Knight is like the perfect weapon because it's going to have 12. It's going to have like 12, average 12 shots. So it's going to get like just 2 natural 6s. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s anyway with the freaking star cannons or whatever the crap. And so it just ices 20 guys.
It's okay, they come back.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly right.
Most people aren't bringing anything fast. They're just like, Wraith Knights and Wraith Guard. That's fine.
What's the Simpsons episode? The rock, paper, scissors? Good old rock. Nothing beats that.
Nothing beats rock.
Anyway, a couple of the top lists in attendance. First up is Arn Zernt, who's playing Eldari. He's got his Battle Host detachment. This will be the new layout right now with the which detachment they're using up in the top, after, of course, their name and their faction. Because we haven't got any sub-factions yet, so no need to go any deeper. He has an Autark Wayleaper, which I think that's the Autark with wings, yeah?
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so as well. Eldrad, a Farseer, a Solitaire, Illic, Night Spear, and the Yinkan. 5 Rangers, 3 Fire Prisms, 2 Night Spinners, 3 D-Cannon support batteries, 2 Void Weavers, and a Viper. And yes, I specifically picked him because he didn't have Wraith Knights in it, because I figured we didn't need to see that one. We can already
we all know
they're
there. We all know exactly the other 14 have 2. So that's
yeah, a bunch. Like there's actually another couple that don't have any.
Okay,
but most, yeah, there's still a lot.
Out of 15 lists, I'd expect at the very least 15
half.
I'd expect at least that, but half, yeah, for sure.
When I looked at this list, I was like, this is a very good list, and he's spending like 700 points in characters, and it's still a very good list. In every other world, that is a terrible choice to make, and yet Illic is incredible. Eldrad is incredible. The Yinkan is incredible. There's so much jank into play, lone operative BS going on.
Oh, yeah. Lone operative's a pain in the butt. And the thing is, too, even if they take Assassinate as like their all-game secondary, you can manipulate that. You can screw with them on that. You get to control the points a lot more. And if they don't, then there's only one time they really get points from killing a character that you wouldn't get from killing something else. So
correct. I really like the Yinkan. I really like what she brings to the way things play, the way this operates on the table. I think it's a really strong choice. The Fire Prisms are phenomenal, and as we saw, there are a few knights here, there, and everywhere. But the indirect battery is pretty healthy. 5 indirect pieces. What's curious to me is the Void Weavers. I haven't noticed them as being powerful as of yet. Hadn't heard many people talking about them. What do you know of them?
I actually haven't even looked at them. I probably should. The Void Weavers specifically, since they're very brief time in the sun when they got buffed and then immediately nerfed. I have not seen them outside of that window. Their window was very short, and then it was shattered, and I just have not looked back at them.
Well, I just control F them in the.
That's good because I was trying to delay long enough so you can find them.
I appreciate it. Love your work, mate. Like we said, professional outfit over here. Movement 14, toughness 6, 4-up save with 4 wounds and 2 OC. They have. Their special rule is in your shooting phase. After this model has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of its attacks, and they must take a battle shock test. They come equipped with 2 shuriken cannons, Void Weaver Haywire cannon, and close combat weapon. So 2 shuriken cannons is quite nice. That's 6 shots at 612. Not a bad profile. The Haywire cannon is, of course, anti-vehicle 4+ with dev wounds. 413, 3 attacks. So 3 attacks, be wounding on 4s with dev wounds on a 3+. Sorry, on a 4+. But the prismatic cannon is 36-inch range, 2d6, 401, or 2 shots at 12, 3, 4. So I do like that. Unfortunately, I do not have which gun he took on this. But which one would you take, just off the cuff?
Off the cuff. See, right now it depends on the meta, but honestly, dev wounds are just the way to go. And if it already gives like battle shock, then even firing it at other units is fine, even with that.
So my first gut instinct was that this and the fire prisms are his anti-Eldar tech.
Yeah.
So the Void Weavers are here to kill other Wraith Knights.
Yeah.
Because each one can go in and just do 9 mortals to a Wraith Knight a piece. So you do that,
it's not going to happen. Keyword?
Are they vehicle? They might be monster.
I thought they're monster.
Well, there's another Control F going on.
Control F happening right now because they've always been monsters. I don't know if they might have changed.
Wraith Knight. I would be very happy if they were vehicle.
Yeah, no kidding. I think a lot of people would.
Monster, Titanic Towering, Walker, Wraith Construct, Wraith Knight. Nope, not vehicle. Never mind. Maybe so. I guess Knights would be the other applicable. Yeah. There you go. Hey, please forgive us. We are learning as we go, same as you guys. Trying to.
We didn't get anything wrong. We just had to look it up.
No, I know. We just didn't look it up. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Great list by Arn over here. Next up, we have William Furriman. He's playing Adeptus Astartes. He's got a Gladius detachment. Lieutenant with combi weapon, Primus Apothecary, the rowboat G-Man himself, 10 Desolator Marines, a Gladiator Lancer, 5 Infiltrators, 3 Redemptor Dreads, a Repulsor Executioner, and 5 Stern Guard, probably to go inside said Repulsor Executioner. Redemptor Dreadnoughts, have they been anything on your radar? Because they have not been on my radar until I saw this list.
They have not been on my radar at all, which isn't to say they're not good. They just haven't been on my radar. The Desolation Marines have been. The Stern Guard have been. The Gladiator has been. Gilliman has been.
Well, I think they're kind of interesting, right? So they're toughness 10 with a 2+ save, 12 wounds, and -1 damage. So innately just -1 damage all the time, combat or shooting. What I found really cute is that when the Ballistus Dreadnought came out, the Redemptor Dreadnought was still a better shooter. You literally have the Rifleman Dread, but the fist and gun Dread is 100% better.
Yeah,
like actually just better. I do know all of his have the Macroplasma Incinerator, which is D6 plus 1 shots at 832 or 943, which is actually a profile I find really attractive. 943 Rend 4 is a beautiful breakpoint to have, seeing as everyone has cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, do they have a lot of ways to ignore cover in the Marine Codex?
The CPs. Yeah, you just slap some CP down and ignore cover. At least I know for Dark Angels I can do that. I can't remember if you can do it with the Gladius.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know they get to reroll everything.
Well, it's true, yeah. AP4, I'm not sure you care.
Yeah, AP4, yeah.
See you later, brother. Never heard of you. 100%, I think for people, anybody wondering at home, I think the frags are hands down better than the storm bolters in the nipple guns now.
Mm.
Blast is just so powerful.
Blast is so good right now.
Yeah. Anyway, triple Redemptor with 2, I guess, anti-tank piece in the Gladiator Lancer and the Repulsor Executioner, and then 10 Desolator Marines because they're just busted, rowboat, and some bits and pieces. The Lieutenant's there because he's the Lieutenant that has lone operative, so hangs out at the back when the army pushes forward. But apart from that, this is just to me, it looks like Marine good stuff, but experimental. Like he didn't know if he wanted.
Yeah, I was just saying you can see where this is actually going in the meta itself with the amount of anti-big thing that people are taking. Like you saw 3 Fire Prisms in the last, you see 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts in this one. Like You wonder what's going to be the big boogeyman right now. People are definitely, before even like really playing many of the games and tournaments, they're afraid of the big things.
Yeah,
I think they need ways to deal with them. They should be. They absolutely should be. Like you need to take things that are good at killing them. Otherwise, you're going to get killed. You're going to get dead.
You're going to get killed. Yeah, you tell them, buddy. Wow. It's the deep analytics.
That is the deep analytics stuff you come here for, guys. If you don't kill them, they're going to kill you. That's just what's going to happen. Right?
Artemis Steve, we need some orcs ideas. They are not so good. Oh, how you feeling about orcs, mate? What's your hot take?
The problem is that orcs are a close combat army. In my opinion, right now, close combat army. This is not. This is a shooting edition right now. Orcs.
Yeah.
Orcs. Even like Nids to an extent. Who else am I thinking of?
World
Eaters. Yeah.
Where are they?
My God! It was literally like World Eaters were doing so well at the end of 9th edition. GW was like, let's put a stop to that. This is not going to continue anymore.
So I'm excited and hopeful that in codexes, GW will put enough in there to make melee relevant. But Index Hammer right now, it doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, no chance.
I've played 5 games. And I've been in combat less than 5 times in 5 games. And that's just the way it is. There's no incentives. Unless you're charging somebody off an objective, that's the most combat I want to do in a game.
I have an army that, at one point was full close combat. I'm all guns now. Even my Oculus is 4 demo charges because I can drop them all when I come in. Why not?
Oh, dude. All right. Perfect. All right. Justin Jansen. Just letting you know, William, who we just covered for the studies, is the WTC player for Team Switzerland. Apologies. I can't remember if it was Switzerland or Sweden. Absolute apologies, mate. Justin Jansen's up next, also a WTC player. Give us the breakdown here. This is a GSC, mate, right up your alley.
Oh, how about that? So we have Ascension Day, obviously, because why wouldn't you just get free 3 strats? Free? Man, dad brain. Anyway.
Dad brain.
Biophages, Jackal Alphas, 2 Nexos, 2 Primus, 4x10 Ocklets, 2x20 Neophytes, Goliath Truck, 10 Aberrants, a single Ridge Runner, and 10 Jackals.
I love this list. It's got less Neos than I would have expected.
Yeah, 2x20. It's not enough Neos in my opinion. But I don't run any less than 120 this point.
You're at the other level of the extreme. I personally think Acolytes are cranked. I think they are really good.
They are,
but
cranked.
they need the he's probably gonna have 1 unit inside the truck, right, and then the other 3 units in reserve.
Yeah, for sure. Because you need only 1 guy coming in a turn, so but you can recycle them or bring them back, whatnot. But having one of the trucks you can get to reroll wounds on something is really good.
Yeah.
But the rest of them have I think I usually take 3 minimum right now. It's literally my list starts with 30 Acolytes and 120 Neophytes, and then I go from there.
Yeah, nice. So I'm actually really high on Aberrants right now. I think Aberrants the way you wield them with the Biophages attached to give them infiltrate, because that's the upgrade you give that guy. It's very obvious to infiltrate 10 Aberrants into a bully position or pressure position, like inside an L in the midfield, I think is exactly what you want now from a melee unit. Yep. You don't want them to have to cross the board to give influence. You want to have them in an imposing bully position. I think Aberrants are actually really... So, dude, Aberrants, they're 4 up, feel no pain, yeah?
Yep.
That's the best save in the game.
Yep.
I feel no pain is the new invulnerable save. You heard
absolutely
it here
first. It is. Absolutely. With all the devastating wounds out there, it is
correct.
Aberrants are now one of the most durable units in the game. They're still costed really high, but compared to what they were before, they're actually worth it now.
At the highest level, invulnerable save have never mattered less. Every army essentially ignores them because every army is predicated on an ability to do dev wounds. That's true. Therefore, invulnerable saves don't actually function. As long as dev wounds is like the be all get all it is, because essentially if you can just slap down dev wounds, you win games. It means that invulnerable saves aren't worth your time as much, anywhere near as much. I'd rather have a friggin' an army wide 6 up feel no pain than an army wide 6 up invulnerable save, or even 5 up invulnerable save, man. It's that big a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really good.
I actually love that's the way to run them right now. For any GSU players that are wondering how do I run Aberrants, right here. Biophages with that upgrade, so they're infiltrating 10 of them. They need to be a bully unit because we no longer have any way to manipulate our charges from Deep Strike. There's nothing we can do to get a better charge than 9 inches, and I hate coming in and relying on a 9-inch charge.
How do you feel about the packages here? So you got to buy phages to make the package with the aberrants, and I'm going to use this term a lot, by the way, the package
Okay,
deal,
okay. We're
that's
coining
what
it.
that's what
Meta Chaser
that's
coined.
what 10th that's what 10th is right now. Yeah, everyone's having their, so it's no longer here's the character and all the units that go around it. It's a package deal. Here's the character, here's the unit, or maybe the character and the bodyguard in the unit or whatever. So you have the Jackals package with the alphas. And then you have all the neophyte package. So it's got 2x20 because you can do a Nexus and a Primus in the neophytes. Yeah,
correct.
And he's got 2 full neophyte packages, the best aberrant and the best jackal package, and then the rest is just kind of recursion good stuff, yeah, with the Akos.
Yeah, with the acolytes, because the thing is they'll be able to use the same kind of strats from the Nexos because they'll be able to let the things happen twice. So all of these guys will be using all the strats they need, some of them for free. It's a ridiculous pack, which is why the 2x20 makes sense because then he has so much other stuff in here as well. The Ridge Runner is there just to give. I'm assuming it has a mortar.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so because that just gives an extra AP on something. Just because, why not? At a line of sight, extra AP, whatever you shoot at, it's great. I would everything would you should just take one, and it's in the back too. So the list is very lean. It's honestly the only thing in the list that I am not sold on, and I hate that I'm saying this. It's the bikes.
Yes. So to me, the bikes are a bit of a gimmick.
They're very gimmicky.
Yeah, they don't. If they don't get to do their little mortal wound trick, they're really bad, I think.
And even if they do get to do their mortal wound trick, on average, maybe 14 mortal wounds on something. That's if you get in there. It's good.
That's not nothing.
It's not nothing. It's not nothing. I'm not. It's not nothing. But again, it's very gimmicky, and that's assuming you get the whole squad there, and you roll a decent amount of 4-ups, and then you just move, and then they're just kind of out there. Like, okay, cool. Here's my mortal wounds, and now you can kill me. Like, they're good. Yep. Don't get me wrong. I love my bikes. Like, I will still run some lists with 30 of them because I have them. I have 45 of them, GW. But I just think they're so gimmicky right now. I don't know if they're competitive. I hope they are. I'm going to continue trying them because I love them. I always love them. In fact, I'll probably try and run 30 aberrants and 30 jackals because why not? But yeah, the list is lean. And G circles right now are scary.
Terrifying, scary. Man. Absolutely terrifying. Time to pick some winners, mate. What are you going to go with?
I mean,
yep, I'm putting it in GSA.
Yeah. Cool. Do you really need me to say it?
I want to give you a chance.
I want to point out that I do strongly believe that depending on terrain, but usually the terrain at these events is actually pretty good for WTC. So, I think like Eldar do have the best chance of winning, but I'm not going to stray 100%. Away from GSC when they're so strong right now.
And I'm not going to be a cheese lord and just pick Eldar now. I'm going to go with the second place. I'm going to go with T-Zuns.
Yeah, that's still a strong pick. Very strong.
Still a strong pick, but I don't feel like... unfortunately, I do just think Eldar's going to win this with 15 in representation.
I think we're agreed that Eldar is going to win this, especially with 15 of them there. Even if there's just 2, I'm sure they would still win, or at least podium. But
yeah,
we got to make this interesting, right? Otherwise,
spice up your life.
Spice up your life.
Yeah. Next event, mate. What have we got?
Next event is the Geelong Town Open. Oh, Geelong. Is that actually a Geelong? Am I saying it wrong?
No, it's a G.
Geelong? Okay, good. Making sure. That's in Victoria, Australia. So that's around your neck of the woods, right?
So it's
down the street.
It's just there, mate.
Just down the street. Okay, cool. 52 players and 5 rounds. I want to see what the meta is like in Australia because Australia is a pretty...
Well...
They're ahead of the meta. They're usually ahead of the meta. Let's be honest.
Dude, there is 3 GT level events in Australia this weekend. Mm-hmm. And I didn't cover this event last year. And they hit me up about it. I was like, crap, because I missed it. I kind of blanked it. And so I promised them I'd put it on this year. So apologies to the other 2 events in Australia this weekend. Geelong got it because I gave them my word that I'd cover them. And here it is. It's going to be a phenomenal event.
Here it is. This is the guilt event that we're going to be covering right now. So
no guilt. They're a bunch of mad lads. They're all good mates of mine.
All right, perfect. So what we're going to be seeing here for the Imperial Super Faction, there's going to be 1 Sisters of Battle, 3 Custodes, 3 Astro Militarum, and 4 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 3 Space Marines.
Yeah, you can do it.
1 Dark Angel, 2 Space Wolves, 2 Blood Angels, and 1 Death Watch. Chaos, there's 3 Chaos Space Marines, 1 Death Guard. What a Chad!
What an absolute baller, right?
Absolute baller. 3 demons, 4 renegade knights. Sorry, for those of you that don't know, Death Guard are a very rough spot right now. So
they suck.
Absolute hero.
So
this
bad.
guy's still bringing them.
Yeah.
Xenos are 7 Necrons, 1 Orc, 3 Tau, and 1 Votan. Actually, I give props to the Votan players too because they're in a rough spot too.
They're in a rough spot too, yeah.
Hive Mind, there's 2 Tyranids and 2 Chiefs they're called, and then the Eldari, there's 1 Drukhari and only 3 Eldari. Really? So the faction putting means Necrons topping out at 7, Renegade and Imperial Knights tied in second with 4, and then Eldari, Tau, Daemon, CSM, Astartes, Guards, and Stodes. All tied in third with 3. Stodes.
I love it.
Whatever you put on the prompter, he will read it.
It is funny that those ESs are pronounced completely different, right? Custodes and Astartes.
Astartes and Stodes. Maybe Stodes.
Yeah, anyway. That one Votan player is just like, in Australian dollars, I just spent like $7,000 on this freaking army. I'm playing it.
Yep. I have a fully painted Votan army in my studio.
And
probably not going to see the table for a while.
I will not be denied.
I mean, why not? If you love the army, bring it. Especially right now, because this is the time to just kind of learn it and play it, see what's out there. And then, who knows? Maybe you'll find the juice that makes your army compete with the meta.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. What do you think of Necrons coming out in force? Like, it turns out, like the Australian, death world of that is this continent was truly just a tomb world the whole time.
So, is Liam attending? Because I feel like he's a...
Liam is not. Unfortunately, Liam's like a couple of 1,000 kilometers north of us.
He's kind of set the precedent on Necrons a couple times, I think. But Necrons right now, they have a durability that not many armies have, I find.
Yeah. I'm somewhat worried about the damage output at times.
That's the thing, because I feel like they have the durability to actually. It's a different level of GSC. GSC don't have durability aside from aberrants. They just have recursion to kind of keep those board presence. But
the 2 things that I always associated with Necrons is close range, high AP firepower.
Yeah.
And getting back up. And so they get back up pretty freaking well now, with so many, reanimation protocols and res orbs and the canoptic reanimator and all that stuff. They're super powerful. They're doing a really good job of making those units feel like they should. But for some reason, all their rend is gone. Their guns don't have AP anymore. Outside of the Doomsday Arcs and the Locust Heavy Destroyers, they got a real AP problem. And seeing as everything has cover as well as their AP went down, like, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that they are stonewalled into the attrition game rather than being able to go and kill your opponent if you need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's kind of what they've always been like, or maybe not always, but I think that's the play style of Necrons that maybe Necron players want. Are there any Necron players out there that take Necrons purely for their damage output? Because I feel like that's the wrong reason to do it, right? Like
that's fair. That is a fair point. I mean, we did have triple Tesseract Vault that was
let's not talk about those guys though. That's a different. Yeah, we know that's a different breed. Those are knight players that were trying Necrons.
Yes, that's fair. That is fair. But yeah, you're right. But now they're kind of forced into it. They don't really have the option, which I think it's totally fine. I'm really happy that the Necron phalanx of 20 warriors feels good again.
Yes, for sure.
It was literally 3 years, because it was the start of last edition was the last time they felt good, and now the start of this edition they feel good again. So it's kind of cute.
How long is that going to last? I guess
we will see.
Because I do feel like those warrior bricks are kind of like they're the staple of Necrons. If they can't take them and feel good about it,
correct.
It's done wrong.
It's pretty rough. Yeah. Also, dude, Lichguard are cranked.
Yeah, Lichguard are actually pretty cranked.
Yeah, I don't know how deep down that rabbit hole you go, whether you go 10, 15, 20, but I think 10 is a great pick in every list.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people actually started getting Lichguard too, so I feel like 7 Necrons, 40 Lichguard, maybe 50.
Yeah, you are probably not too far from the truth. The double knight combo in our silver podium position, both Renegade and Imperial Knights holding parity at 4 lists apiece. Is this just towering carrying, or do you think there's more to it?
It is. Or right now, I feel like it's towering carrying right now. But between Renegade and Imperial Knights, which one do you think is stronger right now, in your opinion?
This early in the edition, I think it's Imperial. I think it's going to skew to Renegade at some point.
Yes.
I don't quite know. I think when we get the terrain correct for the addition, Renegades going through walls is just going to be flat better than most of what Imperial Knights can do. But right now, when we're in everybody doesn't really know what's going on, Imperial Knights can really stat check people.
Imperial Knights, yeah, exactly. It's just a big stat check army right now, and it's oppressive right now. You can just put three big ones on the table. Like, cool, what you gonna do? You gonna kill me? No,
yeah,
because I'm gonna kill you.
Well, I've been looking at the WTC custom boards that are coming out for the event. I'm looking at how dense they are to have to make the game tolerable, and I'm like, well, Renegade Knights are just better, right? Because all this nonsense you've put to stop them, they just go straight freaking through it all, and still go eat them and get the angles and whatnot. Even if you got their 9-foot fully enclosed L's, you know,
right? Which is interesting though, because Fly right now is going to suffer a lot from that.
Fly sucks, man.
Fly sucks now.
Fly
got hit hard.
In a couple of my games, I've played worse because I thought Fly was going to help me.
Yeah.
Because I'd fly my model right up to a wall. It used to just go straight over and not use any movement. I'd be like, yeah, next turn I'm just gonna hop over into that objective, and then I actually measure the true distance, and I'm like, I need to roll an advance for my unit. So okay, we've got wall. Objective is here, literally like half an inch from the wall, and my model is up against the wall. I just need to do this. And I couldn't do it. I didn't have the movement.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I will say, I don't feel bad for all you Fly players.
No.
Because honestly, Fly has been busted for a long time now. Like, I don't hate that it's done that. I think it was a little too heavy-handed. I think maybe like making it more like going through dense or heavy terrain, so like maybe -2 movement, -4 movement to like fly over something maybe, instead of just a flat measure the whole thing. But
yes,
I'm not sad that it's kind of that, because the rest of us have been playing this game this way the whole time anyway.
It's messy. It's just a messy,
it's very messy. It's very indicative of like scatters from the olden days.
Yes. It's pretty up for interpretation as well. It's so hard to measure that effectively.
Yeah.
That people are just going to be like, oh, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Because the interpretation is like, oh, it's 3 inches. Then your opponent's like, oh, it looks like 4 to me. Like, oh.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. But you're measuring.
You're measuring this angle. Like, oh, you're over tapping. Like, come on, scatter die.
Anyway, let's go to some top players in attendance. First up is Reese Cunningham, good mate of mine, playing Astra Militarum, combined regiment, of course. He has the Lord Solar himself, Lord Solar Deontis, a platoon command squad, and Ursula Creed. I think that is a great trifecta of HQs. 2x10 Caden infantry, 2x10 Death Corps infantry, a Chimera, 3 armored sentinels, 3x3 scout sentinels, 3 basilisks, 3 manticores, 2 units of 5 scions, and the regimental attaches. So sentinels are alive and well, and then just add your indirect pieces of choice. Turns out you've got a busted list still.
Indirect is such a problem. Oh my god,
it's such a problem, man. So he's got 6 indirect pieces, very good indirect pieces. The good thing about him having 6 on Chimera chassis, you're probably going to be able to shoot him at some point, because it's just really hard to hide 6 of them. From all ingress, and then the armor sentinels are on huge freaking bases now as well. But I remember. So me and Reese, this gentleman, played a test game, and he wrote a 2,000 point list using the old points, but using the new data sheets that we got previewed at the G-Dub Open. We're just using the models that he had in his army, but with old points. And I was like, there's no way Guard can, with how much more wounds and more toughness all the mechanized and vehicle units got, there's no way they could take that much in the list anymore. And unfortunately, they can still take that much stuff in the list. It's a problem, man. This army is so thick, it's so everywhere, and surprisingly, it's extremely efficient shooting wise.
Yeah. It always drives me nuts that indirect fire is more accurate than a lot of other things that are standing right in front of you. They just, but it's so strong right now. And Guard do it generally better than anybody. Generally. Yeah.
Dude, Scout Sentinels for 50 points with T7 and 7 wounds and a 3+ armor save now. Oh, it's yuck, dude. It's yuck.
That's a lot of just OBSEC that you. I don't know why I keep calling it OBSEC, but it's OBSEC is just going to just now be their objective secure stat. Okay,
correct.
But it's so many wounds they just get rid of, and it's T7 is hard now. Like, you need to fire anti-vehicles.
It's 84, dude. Of the 12 sentinels there, that's 84 toughness 7 wounds.
That's insane.
In those 4 squads of 3. That's correct, yeah. 21 for every 3 man.
7 wounds. Yep.
3 by 7.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that by 4. Yeah, 84. Ridiculous amount for what you get for the points, and they all have a hunter killer. They can all be reoccurred for 2 CP. Come back to life, get a whole new unit. I think they're busted. I think them and the indirect busted. Too good.
Yep, way too good.
I do wonder though, because I'm seeing this with Marines as well. If Desolator Marines or indirect in general just took a huge hit, where does Guard go from there? Because the next tier down from their really good stuff is nowhere near as good. Marines are the same. Like if you really nerf Desolator Marines, the next best thing under that is there's a cliff. It's just a big old cliff.
Yeah, I get that, but if we're in an edition where the only reason an army is good is because of their indirect fire, that's bad.
It is bad.
That's bad.
I do agree with that.
So while I don't have an answer of where they'd go from there, I don't care.
Hey, well, Battle Brothers.
No sympathy. That's true.
There are some meme lists you can take with 9 Ridge Runners and then this same indirect battery or something similar. You can take 4 pieces of indirect, I think.
I could take. I think it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 pieces of indirect from Guard, and then I could take 9 Ridge Runners. Not 9, 6. We reduced the size again, so now I have 3 extra freaking Ridge Runners and 15 extra bikes.
I'm the same. It's funny. Well, not in those units, but yeah. Oh. Anyway, let's jump down to the next one. This is Sam Dutney, another good mate of mine playing Tau Empire. I pulled out not much favoritism. Not much favoritism needed to happen for this week's episode because all my mates were playing different factions. So I wanted 6 different factions lists, and it just turns out everyone's playing something different. So he's playing Tower Empire. He's got his Callion detachment. He's got Shadow Sun, a Ghost Keel, 2x3 stealth suits, 2 Tau supremacy armors, and 2 Tetras.
Okay, wait. I remember Tau only being able to fit 1 in your list.
Yeah.
What?
They went down in points, my dude.
What? 2?
You want me to tell you a story? So they are toughness 13, which is the best toughness stat you can have because las cannons wound you on 5s. They got 2 up they got 2 up, 5 up, so 2 up armor, 5 up invulnerable, which isn't conditional, so it's to shooting and combat. 30 wounds, so just 30 wounds. They have for the greater good, all that good stuff. Their Axis Ion Cannon, which I can't remember which one he's got, but this is the one I like. D6 plus 3 shots at 933. Blast Hazardous. Which was the other one actually? Pulse Ordnance Driver. Nope, not that one. Heavy. Sorry, it might have been this one. It may have been Heavy Rail Cannon Array. Dev Wounds and Heavy. 2 shots, 120-inch range, so you can shoot the bloke in the parking lot if you want. Strength 26, neg 5, 16 damage with Dev Wounds. Strength 26, neg 5, 16 damage. Yeah, boy.
Why?
Yeah. Why? Why?
Strength 20. We're just getting ridiculous. Why does it make it strength 1 billion? What's the difference? Like, why don't you just do that? Yeah.
Strength wounds on 2+. It should be it.
Strength wounds on 2+. Yeah, just like anti everything 2+. That's all it needs to say.
Each time it's guided. Each time this is the guided unit. So of course you're always gonna have a spotter for your freaking 700 whatever point Towner. It rerolls hit rolls of 1 when it's spotted, so it'll be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Oh look, it's heavy on the rail cannon as well, so that's plus 2 to hit, ignores cover as well if it's spotted. That's one of the if you're spotted you get ignores cover, I believe.
Because you're gonna need that.
Because you need it, right? That Ren 5, they got cover, mate. They're gonna bounce.
They got cover. 6 up, man.
6. So you can place the tri-axis ion cannon with 1 fusion eradicator. And which is Melter 3, 5 shots at 10 minus 4 d6. Yeah, no, you would be replacing that.
Replace that.
The tri-axis.
Why not?
Yeah.
Now,
the
tell me
this.
Do Taunars, like Taunar specifically, do they have either way to reroll wounds or to make a wound to 6? Because if you say yes,
I don't believe they do. I don't believe they do. Praise be.
Praise be. Devastating wounds on that is unnecessary, but at least it's at least when it's that low of shots and you roll a 6, I won't be as upset. Well, I'll be upset, but it won't be like, oh, that's broken. I'll be like, ah, crap.
Disflux with the I guess the comment of the day saying I like big butts.
I like big butts, but I cannot lie.
Exactly right. I think that's where he was going with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the Towner, and Sam is having no chill going into this new edition.
I guess not.
The last one of these, of course, there were 7 Necrons in attendance. I had to pull out a Necron list. This is Gavin Coles with his Awakened Dynasty. He's got a Catacomb Command Barge, a Chronomancer, Illuminos Azeris, an Overlord, and a Technomancer. So 5 characters. That's a lot for usually would be a list breaking amount because each one of those would have been 100 points plus. So, but now, luckily, they're a bit more reasonable. 10 Immortals, 2 Phalanxes of 20 Warriors, 3 Annihilation Barges, 2 Doomsday Arcs, and 5 Death Marks. Well, what do you think?
The Doomsday Arcs, okay. So remember when before I was saying, is anybody taking Necrons for their kill power? I think Gavin's trying because...
I think the DDAs, like I said, I think the DDAs and the Locust Heavy Destroyers are the 2 best kind of anti-tank shooting things, because that's one of the matchups I worry about Necrons into. I worry about them into things like Knights, these hard mech skews, where they just like sick. Your opponent's got a Crusader, your Doomsday Arcs are freaking enormous baguettes that you can't hide, even if you could hide from towering, and they go first and pick them up. What do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
What can you do? Necron Warriors just ain't going to kill like a Warglaive, let alone a Valiant or a Questoris level.
Yeah. Dorian, are Deathmarks, are they good now? I believe they have like a free Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to go to the Annihilation Barge first because
we'll get to that one. I know there's a gimmick with them that's actually really good. And in fact, a gimmick that is good enough. The reason I know this is because several of my local tournaments, like TOs, have nerfed, not Deathmark specifically, but something to do with them so they couldn't do it. So
fair.
It must be good.
Or
at least
good, right?
At least good enough that 3 or 4 TOs have become salty enough because of it to get rid of it, which is...
All right. Annihilation Barge moves 9 with toughness 8, 9 wounds, and a 3+. They, of course, just have a 4-up invulnerable save.
Why not?
Just quantum shielding.
Just quantum shielding.
So toughness 8 with 9 wounds and a 4-up, because that 3-up, you ain't never getting that if anybody actually wants to try and kill you. They come with the Gauss Cannon and the Twin Tesla Destructor. The Twin Tesla Destructor is now 6 shots. Sustained hits 2 Twin Linked at 802. I'm not in love with that. What can you replace that with? With a Tesla. Nah, it's just more Tesla. And the Gauss Cannon, of course, is 3 shots at 522. I do quite like that with lethal hits. But the Malevolent Arcing, in your shooting phase, each time you target a unit for this model's Twin Tesla Destructor, roll 1d6 for the target unit and 1d6 for every other enemy unit within 3 of the target unit. On a 5+, the unit being rolled for is struck by arcing energies, and after resolving all this model's attacks, they take a smite. They take D3 mortal wounds. So on a 5+, do D3 mortals in addition after all is said and done, and then everything else within 1d6. Roll 1d6 for a target unit, a d6 for every other unit in 3. So it's pretty close, actually.
Pretty close up, but I mean,
pretty close.
Free mortals is never a bad thing. If you can just spam those out, why not?
Yeah, just sprinkled on mortals. I wonder how many points they run you, because I would want them to be around the 110, 120 mark, right?
110, 120, I think. I don't think any more than 120.
115, swish. Woohoo!
Boom! We know this game.
First time I looked at him as well. I'm proud of that.
This is why we chase the meta. Or does the meta chase us?
One day, when we're good enough, when we're old enough and good boys. The DDAs though as well, I'm quite a fan. The Doomsday Arc being toughness 9 with 14 wounds and a 4+. They get dev wounds if they don't move on their Doomsday Cannon, which is d6 +1 shots at 15 -4 damage. Pretty freaking good.
Dev wounds is good.
It turns out, mate.
It turns out. Ignoring saves and just doing the damage straight through is pretty good.
Who would have thought?
Ignoring something that their opponent's math is just good. That's Math Hammer.
We'll quickly have a look at death marks for the
because I'm curious.
Yeah, me too.
I know that they have had, again, not them specifically being nerfed, but something to do with Overwatch being nerfed. And I'm curious of why, because I haven't seen them specifically. I haven't played against Necrons yet, which is weird because I know a lot of Necron players, and they're a lot of my practice mates. So.
So they have toughness 5 with a 3+ save and 1 wound, 1 OC. Their synaptic disintegrator is heavy precision, range 36, one shot at 5.22. So that's a pretty good shot. So that's one better than like the Astartes sniper rifles and stuff.
The 2 damage is actually good for sniper.
And precision, of course. And they've got hyperspace hunters once per turn, and the reinforcement steps of your opponent's movement phase while an enemy unit is set up. So when an enemy unit is set up on the battlefield from reserve within 18 of invisible to this unit, you can shoot it as if it was your shooting phase, but must only target that enemy unit when doing so. You can only do so if the enemy unit is an eligible target. So anytime you deep strike within 18 of these guys, they can essentially once per turn get a little Auspex scanny on you.
Yeah, which the fact that they were precision means if you have a character in that unit, they snipe the character.
Yep, and if your unit is good predicated on the character that's in it, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, I get
You know who that's actually a big problem for? Because one of the things I realized is not too bad into GSC is because the first time they have the units, they have the characters. When it comes back, they don't have the characters. So if you and neophytes especially without the characters, much different beast.
Yes.
Much different beast. So either you can try and snipe out the characters or kill them as soon as you can and then ignore the bastards. As long as they're not on an objective, ignore them.
Just be aware we still have a lookout, sir, for our character strat.
True. Well, yeah, exactly.
And we don't need to roll for it anymore. We just need to pay a CP.
You got to pay the CP. Spot on.
Unless there's
all right, mate.
Nexos.
Who's going to win this bad boy? I'm going to have a coin flip between the top 2 lads.
Okay.
I'm going to, I don't know, flip this. Whatever. Up his guard. Not down. Not go in the tower.
That's where I was going to go. Okay.
Okay, you can go to the tower.
No. You already I can't go against the coin. That's wrong.
Already put it in. And is there any Blood Angels here?
I don't remember.
There's 2.
Is there? All right. Paul,
he's
you're
in with a chance. He's going to punch his chance, everybody.
Piece of cake.
All right. That brings us to the end of the events coverage that we're going to be doing for our first 10th edition weekend. Up next, we have our palate cleansing Fuego segment, which we give ourselves. We'll go 1 minute today because it's just the 2 of us. 1 minute to break down a series.
Let me just change all the code in the back here so I can change that.
Well, get it together, mate.
What the hell? Just making snap decisions on the fly here.
Well, don't bother changing it. We'll just stop it when we've answered it. It's fine. But anyway, we give ourselves a set of questions, usually given in by some random, our partners and wives and children, put up a silly topic and a couple of questions, and we're just going to answer them at the end to kind of shake off the crunchiness of all this analytical good stuff. And see how we go. Is there a theme to this week?
Yeah, the funny part is it's going to be a little more crunchy analytics because the theme of this week is 10th edition Universal Rule Balance.
Okay. Oof.
That's okay. Right.
Oof. Let's do this. Hit it off whenever you're ready.
All right. So, I switched it over here, and I think I changed the time to 1 minute. I think.
Yeah, whatever.
I did it. Okay, good. I did it.
Proud of you.
So, first one, is devastating wounds a balanced rule? And if not, how do you balance it? That's going to be a theme here. First thing, anti-everything needs to stop being devastating wounds.
Yes, they need to be. They cannot interact.
They cannot interact. Those are 2 separate rules.
The only time I want them to interact, and this is rough, because by making them not interact, you essentially kill Haywire. That is the only time I think
because a lot of Haywire is doing like 3 damage, -1, and still auto wounding doesn't matter on the strength. That's still good.
But the strength it's usually the strength and AP of the gun is trash. Like the one on the back of the Void Weaver was 3 shots at strength 4 -1, 3 damage. Without dev wounds and anti, that is a non-functional. They'll need to if they separate them, they need to just rework the Haywire keyword.
Yeah, we can rework
just make it something else.
And I don't like the fact that you can manipulate things to a 6. To make it devastating wounds. I feel like if it's manipulated anyway, it doesn't count as devastating. It just needs to be naturally rolled. Then it's less feel bads and less broken. That's in my opinion, at least. But that's Fuego. But you're.
So I've always thought that the fix for devastating wounds is staring us right in the face. Do the same thing you've done with sustained hits, and put a number next to the dev wounds, and that's how many wounds you take on mortal wounds in addition. And so then you can just, it's too busted at freaking doing 6 mortal wounds on a 6 in addition to its regular damage. You just put it down to 2. You put it down to 3. It's just an easy thing.
In addition to, I like that. That. Okay. All right. I'm down with that too. Cool. All right. Next one. What about indirect fire? Again, how do you balance it if not?
Only hits on a set number, no rerolls, no increasing, no decreasing.
Yeah,
there's no hitting on 2s, there's no trash.
Well, yeah, no, that's ridiculous. No rerolls is a big thing because again, I hate the fact that things out of line of sight are more accurate than things standing right in front of you. That's just ridiculous.
Correct.
So,
I would like to see like it capped. You can never hit better than a 4+.
I think never hitting better than a 4+. Wasn't that was talked about at one point? Or was that what they changed in 8th that they did that? Or was it just
essentially, it was just a -1 and +1. But I think you can never hit on better than a 4+, and everything that has indirect should just have heavy deleted. Is the other fix. If you were shooting indirect fire, you can never benefit from the heavy.
Yeah, get rid of heavy. That's ridiculous.
Because I don't understand why they've put those two things together.
Yeah.
They should be written on a whiteboard somewhere. If it's indirect, it can't be heavy.
Yeah,
full
seriously.
stop! Exclamation point! Exclamation
if
point!
it is heavy, then it hits on a 5+ normally. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, my best fix is it hits on a set number. No re-rolls, no nothing.
Yep, that's all you need. Easy peasy. See, we're fixing this game.
That's it. Yeah, totally fixed.
So easy to do this. Overwatch, same thing.
Take it from 24 to 18 first, and then maybe take it from 18 to 12 if it's still a problem.
I think take it 18 to 12. The other thing is being able to use it twice in one turn, like with all these. Even if you used it, you can go ahead and use this strat again. I think Overwatch should be exempt from that. It's one of those that should be exempt. Overwatch is too strong to be used twice. When you can use it even with somebody just moving. You know?
Yeah, so I do think. So Dorian said, "Well, the next thing for me, you need line of sight to be able to do Overwatch."
That's a good one.
So you can never Overwatch with indirect. Yep. Just separate those things immediately.
Yeah.
Yep. And the other one for me was, what was it? If so, I like what you said. I don't want it to ever be done twice a phase, but I think if you have a thing that lets you do it twice, it can be done twice in a turn.
Okay.
So
yeah.
If you do it in the movement phase and you have the opportunity to do it in the charge phase, you can.
Yep.
Which does not come up much. We've already seen this edition. Doesn't come up much.
Exactly.
So I like that fix.
Yeah. Bam. Fixed. Overwatch fixed. Next one.
This one I struggle with.
Towering. Yeah.
I don't quite know what to do with this. What are your thoughts?
So I think we're in agreement that all these things right here, they're not currently balanced. That's why we're kind of trying to fix these. They're just not. So towering is a harder one because you either are nerfing knights into the ground or you're just making them too strong. I feel like, and I talked about this on my podcast, as we discussed this with, I discussed with Jesse on the Stutter Scrub podcast this week too. But I feel like it's almost time to just let the knights hide behind the terrain too, the same way. Because that way you don't need to, I can see you, but you can't see me. It's like, no, we can see each other. That's fine. And if you really need to keep it, maybe if you're shooting through obscuring terrain, maybe it's the same thing as indirect. Maybe you only hit on 4s.
Like only hit on a set number.
Yeah. Right?
That was going to be my best one, and I still don't love it. I still don't love that. That if you are shooting something and the only way you've been able to shoot them is via the towering keyword, you can only hit on 4s and no rerolls or something like that.
Yep.
But then it gets really, it's like just like the templates. Do I have to use towering? How do I get past it? 1 millimeter of my base can make it past this, not having to use towering. It gets pretty iffy.
Yeah, and that's why I think maybe we just take away the fact that you can't see them or they can't see. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Just get rid of that crap. It's just another vehicle. It's just bigger. It's just 2-3 stories high. Yeah, it's big and it's bigger, but it can still hide. Come on. If these walls are considered to be infinite height, then that knights are under infinite height.
That's less than infinite.
That's less than infinite at least.
So Disflux is saying it has to touch a terrain piece to shoot through terrain piece. Yeah, that
same kind of thing. Well. Exactly. Yeah. All right.
LN joining us Friday lunchtime Fuego. What a treat!
Perfect time.
You must be around where I'm living. You must be in down under.
That's lunchtime. That's right. Yeah.
My compatriot. What's that last one?
Last one is the close combat phase. This one I think we would need a lot more than 1 minute, let alone.
Yeah, so the one thing I want to see changed immediately is that you get your consolidate no matter what, and it's unrestricted.
Unrestricted consolidate.
If you have made the charge with all the restrictions of the charge phase, piled in with all the restrictions of the pile in phase, fought and killed yourself out of combat, you should be able to pile into whatever the hell you want. Yeah. It's always been part of the game until now. Like, it's never been this restrained. Remember when you used to wipe a unit, then you'd be able to move your initiative in any direction you wanted?
Yeah.
It's always been a thing. So I'm more than happy for the charge phase to be a bit less restrictive for the new players and not have the feel bads. Yeah. Pile-ins, it makes sense that would follow a same linear path.
Sure.
But hey, I've killed the freaking unit and won the combat. Why do I not get to do anything?
Yeah,
I think that's stupid.
They're cheering. They're just excited that they won the combat.
Man, we're so good. We did such a good job.
Good. Right, otherwise, if you're like fighting, walls don't block charges anymore. But if you're fighting something on the other side of a wall, now the guys aren't in base to base anymore because there's a wall in the way. Now they don't get the fight.
Yeah.
Stupid. That's stupid.
Stupid.
All right. Well, I think we're done fixing 10th edition, so let's.
It's all fixed.
All fixed. Pretty good to go now.
WTC guys, I'll accept the check in the mail. See you soon, boys. Good weekend. Good first weekend of 10th edition. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's been a wonderful show that you guys have all enjoyed at home. If you're joining us live, thank you very much for being very active in our chat community. You guys are champions. If I didn't plug it before because I didn't give myself the chance, we have a beautiful Patreon with multiple tiers up for anybody interested. First tier being just throwing us a couple of bucks because you like what we do, but the perks come from the second and third tier. Second tier, you'll get the access to the other half of this show, as in what Dustin, I, and Paul will be recording next week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Looking back on what did well with the weekend just gone, exclusively covering the events that we analyzed, seeing what won, what did well, and to our best ability, why they did so well. I'll be able to get some insights, especially on the Geelong event, because it's like I said, it's just right over there. If you want the top tier lets you influence the Fuego segment you just listened to. If you want to submit questions, topics, silliness that you want us to pontificate upon from the mount at the end of the show, you are more than welcome to join us there. Warhammer Meta Chasers over on Patreon. Hopefully you'll see us there. I think there's the all the links and things
are just below here.
Yeah.
Just on screen the whole time. Just time for you guys to. I think it's on the YouTube channel as well. Like the comments down below. It's everywhere. It's easy to find.
It's everywhere. Love yous. Dustin, good night, mate. Thank you very much. I know you're a sleepy bean right now. So
I'm always awake for chasing the meta and hanging out with you.
Dustin is doing like triple duty at the moment. He's the dad, he's the host, and he's also producing this week's show. So thank you very much to Dustin. You're an absolute champion.
I got this. Don't you worry. Always a pleasure. And we'll be seeing you guys next week again.
Mwah.
See you later.